In northwest London, 5 teenagers who've been graffitiing the railway are on the run from the transport police.
We've got 5 running on the track towards Chamberlain Bridge.
Overhead, a police helicopter, call sign India 99, and its thermal imaging camera.
Yeah, for units info, we can still see the suspects underneath the railway on the north side of it.
Hidden from view, the boys may think they're safe, but they're in great danger. 12,000 volts below, and the Sky Cops above.
Power is still on, so no one on the track. Just keep going.
Tonight, vandals and criminals on the run.
Got him. Yeah, we're recording.
Slippery suspects.
I could have sworn they were in there. Alright, so where have they gone then? And he's blocked, he's blocked.
Escaped prisoners. And the police are blinded as the heli-telly goes on the blink.
It's the Italian job all over again. Someone's going for the crown jewels.
Info, we haven't seen them come out from underneath Chamberlain Bridge.
In northwest London, the 5 youths who've been vandalising the railway with graffiti are still playing hide.
Just info, we've still got these kids visual every now and again under the bridge,
While the Sky Cops continue to seek.
This was in the middle of the night. It was on the infrared camera, which made it easier for us to see them because they've obviously been running around, so they're a lot hotter. So under the bridge, they stuck out like sore thumbs, really. You think you're invisible, but not to us.
They might be visible to PC Pritchard, but the transport police, the BTP, can't get anywhere near them.
Units down at Chamberlain Road, is there any way on the tracks? Yeah, received. I'm with British Rail staff and they're saying that there is no access point.
It's 3 in the morning, but the power along the tracks is still switched on, generating a lethal current.
The issue was getting them off that line because the trains were still running. There was BTP there was obviously Met there. But then we had to try and talk them into the suspects in a safe way.
Officers on the ground might be helpless, but PC Pritchard is moving them into positions to be able to move in when the electricity is finally switched off.
Where the vans are at the bottom of the slope, if they turn right, they won't be able to see you approach, and then you can sort of pen them in.
Yeah, from the duty manager at Queen's Park, traction power is now off from Kilburn High Road.
Traction power off means it's good to go, but it's pitch black on the tracks, and the boys on the run have an advantage.
Okay, units from QK, these 5 are on the move, moving to the south side over the central bit. Okay, and they're all legging it now off down towards Kensal Green on the live VR tracker.
The Sky Cops may be happy to have the gang on camera, but the ground cops now worry that they don't have the backup to arrest them.
Just confirm we've got sufficient officers down at Kensal Green, cut them off,
Okay, can I have some more officers at Kensal Green? I've only got 3 police officers here. We've got 5 suspects. I need some more people.
Let's get as many as we can down at Kensal Green, please.
Graffiti vandals cost the railways and the British Transport Police a fortune.
British Transport Police have got a major problem with graffiti, so-called artists, and a lot of them are kids, unfortunately, that aren't artists at all. They're just making a mess and causing millions of pounds worth of damage.
Yeah, show 27.
The 5 believe they have managed to fool the BTP. What the Sky Cops can see, but they can't, is the trap PC Pritchard has set.
From Indian 99, you've now got all 5. They're all together, still towards Kensal Green.
2-5, as soon as you can.
Yeah, 2-5 on the scene. So you've got 3 officers on the track. They're coming towards you now. You'll probably see them any second.
This dangerous game is almost done, but only 4 realise it.
We've got one in the bushes. He looks like he might be coming out now. Coming back out onto the track. And he's laying down, it's very kind of him. Looks like all detained.
It's taken more than 30 police officers, plus a helicopter and 3 sky cops, around an hour to arrest 5 graffiti artists.
Take now sufficient officers on scene by this thing though.
Kingdom 99, that's all received, no thanks.
Leaving 99, finish there.
Night has hardly had time to turn to dawn before the sky cops are on a very different mission.
320 degrees, what localised? 99.
Not criminals on the run, but a sovereign in need of protection. One of London's biggest days of the year, the state opening of Parliament by Her Majesty the Queen.
Yeah, I'm happy with that area, Steve.
All police leave has been cancelled, so great is the security risk. Also watching over London is PC Tartaglia, this morning's duty controller in the Sky Cops control tower.
Potentially anybody can be planning something today just to make their point. In essence, it's everything that Britain stands for, and if people don't like it, this is the ideal time to do something about it. That's why there's so many extra people down there, and we've all got our eyes open today.
The Metropolitan Police operation to keep the Queen safe will be run from a £100 million control room in South London, codenamed GT.
This is when you're talking to GT, this is where you're talking to.
The Sky Cops are part of it, and Sergeant Gleeson is the man with the experience.
When we're on an event, it will all be heli-telly around the room. Heli-telly gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's all that everybody's looking at.
Public figures have always been vulnerable to snipers, and there's not a rooftop in central London that's not open to the Sky Cops.
We're going to do rooftops around Parliament Square.
Yes, yes.
Up sort of Whitehall, and then left down the Mall.
Okay, that's good for me.
99 ahead, Bruce 2, I might turn right heading 180 degrees.
And there is the added bonus that their pictures can now be fed live into the Met Command Centre.
Hey firm Steve, you're going to have a chance to have a look at Great College Street, a stone construction, green roof, skylight open.
Insecure skylight.
Yeah, it's East West Road.
Oh, I got you.
What we're doing this morning is a security check of the rooftops around the ceremonial area and the processional routes, just to ensure that the only people on roofs are the people who are supposed to be there.
Is there an insecure skylight in that one?
That's what they want to look at.
But this is the man who matters most today, Scotland Yard's Gold Commander. He has the Queen's life in his hands, with a little help from the Sky Cops.
The escort unit on an operation like this have a critical role. What they give me is oversight. If we need to, they can zoom their cameras in and pick out either individuals or scenes for me. They give me that flexibility that ground cameras can't give.
Commander Broadhurst has the ultimate plan. Make sure everything goes so smoothly, you take it easy.
My place on the scheme of things today should be to sit back, relax, read the newspaper and wait for the Queen to be safely delivered back home at the end of the state opening. If I have to do anything today, it means something's gone wrong out there where I need to bring advisors around this table and start putting things back together again in hopefully a safe and effective manner.
All the Queen's men and all the Queen's guards are now as one, and the Sky Cops are watching. Meanwhile, back at the Air Support Unit's base at Lippets Hill, a second police helicopter is being scrambled. Not a threat to the Queen, but to her subjects. Common criminals at work, robbing a supermarket in North London.
India 99, receiving India Lima.
Do go ahead, Emma.
I've got a job for you. Please, Echo Kilo's ground, page 120.
The suspects have been chased by local cops into nearby gardens and they've gone to ground, but no one knows where they are.
Group of youths seen going over a fence. No better descriptions, but if you could have a look, units on scene, thanks.
Sky Cops Ayres and Tartaglia are on the case.
That PC going across that grey flat roof, was it?
Yeah, on the far left.
Yeah, I've got it visual now.
Well, builders on the right-hand side.
First, they must sort out the good guys from the bad. Plainclothes cops are on the scene.
105, India 99's called near cover.
Well, obviously, using our thermal camera, it's quite dense undergrowth down there on a few outbuildings. You and your colleagues stand out very well. Is that another copper?
but they are not the ones on the run.
Oh, it's chasing there up
Yeah,
to the
helicopter, you getting that? You can see me there.
There they are.
They're on just over to that point direction.
Got him.
Yeah, got 'em, we're recording.
Yeah, Echo Kilo from India 99. If we can hold transmission, these two suspects are now breaking through the garden.
Yeah, under this shed.
Where are they going?
Yeah, they're heading towards the Alversnift Road. If we get units to the Alversnift Road, they're moving quite quickly through the gardens.
Seeing them is one thing, catching them quite another.
Right there.
Get out this side, Louis.
Yeah, on the west side.
Echo Kilo, please.
They're in the rear gardens of between 30 and 38. They're now making their way out towards, I think it's Powden Road.
We followed them through several gardens. We're orbiting quite quickly, and I'm finding it quite difficult to keep my eye on them in the garden.
Yeah, PC's on the corner. If you go back from when you just came, they're coming towards the white car that's next to the first tree.
Oh, there's a copper stood there, right there.
Oh, you're almost opposite them now.
Eventually they hid behind the side of a shed, behind a thick hedge. But with the orbit, I'm trying to look out the window and guide the ground units in.
You got them, Rick, still?
They're tucked in behind that building line. I can't see them in a minute, but they were heading towards where that copper is. They're in under this lot.
This is a critical moment. The Sky Cops are sure they still have the two robbers on their thermal imaging camera, but they can't be 100% sure.
These suspects are in. We've got officers. They're actually tucked up under undergrowth. We can't see them visually at the moment.
And under that white bush. There's movement in there. Come on, you little...
To make sure, they must direct the officers on the ground into the location quickly.
Right, we've got one officer stood in number 38. If you could just raise your arm. Yeah, we've got him visual now. If you look to your left-hand side, there's a shed. You've got two suspects tucked up on the right-hand side of that shed, right in the undergrowth.
And it's not what they expected.
Talk the units in, and they get there and there's no one there, which is a big surprise to me.
That's where we last saw them.
Yeah, India 99. I did see the two suspects myself, and they've ran across the garden.
Right, so where have they gone then?
They didn't come back this way.
That's the only place they could have gone.
The Sky Cops rarely lose those thereafter. PC's Airs and Tartaglia have been blindsided by the buildings, and they don't like it.
The way the buildings and the gardens were put together, at a certain point in the orbit, there was a bit of a blind spot in relation to the area where they tucked in, and they'd obviously waited for us to go round in the orbit, and then they'd moved.
It is difficult looking out the window, orbiting round in circles. You know, a split second, and the scene changes.
Come on, loser, where are you?
But they aren't giving up yet. They don't believe the two thieves have got clean away.
This had come in 30A Alpha Road from the informant states the Mauser in her back garden.
And they are right. A resident is phoning in to report an intruder in the garden.
Right, 38. Right, they're all running towards that. That's towards the pub with the blue front. So, Rick, if you go up screen, keep going up screen. They're in amongst that lot there.
I don't know where they went in there then.
It doesn't take long.
Oh, there's one.
There's one.
Yeah, we've got officers at number 30. Number 30 towards the back.
Is that one? Come on, come into view.
Hey, there's one.
That's it, yeah.
Have they got two though?
Yeah, they got two.
He's on the floor there, I think. The second one.
You get from there across to there without us seeing it.
I could have sworn they were in there.
Yeah.
They were initially.
Yeah. But how the hell did they get all the way back?
While the Sky Cops try to figure out what went wrong, the ground cops are more concerned about arresting the right suspects.
India 99,
Calling India 99 again.
India 99, we do have two detained. We're just trying to establish if they are identical. We were looking for one firstly.
I'm just playing our playback to see if I can give you any more.
Yeah, it's the guy.
White
That's the guy.
t-shirt, yeah.
The one with the white shoes.
Yeah,
that's definitely the white guy. Yeah. It's the same two. Is there anyone else? That's it.
Yeah.
Just them two.
Yeah.
And they're ident on clothing, so that's them.
Both suspects that we saw have been detained.
Oh, result. Nice one.
Across town, another nice one is in progress. The state opening of Parliament is taking place without a hitch. And that means no helicopter noise. It's now down to London's huge network of CCTV cameras to provide the Gold Commander with his pictures. But something's wrong.
Look at that. I've not seen that before.
For the first time, the police commanders are losing their street eyes.
What's happening now is there's a slight problem. Losing some of the ground cameras that are covering the processional area.
It's a meltdown, with only a shop front in South London to look at.
Normally we'd just be waiting to come back to do the security escorts post-event. We're coming back a bit sooner than that now to kind of take the place of the problematic ground cameras.
Gold Command is not going to be able to sit back and read the papers.
Are we on station? No, just lifting now, sir. Right, OK.
And neither will the IT department.
That's what we're just trying to work out. The feeds seem to be coming in upstairs, but they're not coming down here. Slightly bit of pressure, yeah. We've got to get the job done as quickly as possible.
Don't worry, Engine 99's on its way back to save your Don't worry about it.
We're happy.
But this time, the Sky Cops are out of it as well. No downlink from India 99 is getting through.
We've lost the input from this end of Heli-Tele. India Lima GT. I'm not sure we're going to get even Heli-Tele pictures here. I think they're having massive problems at this end.
But at least the South London shopfront is still visible.
So it's the Italian job all over again. Someone's going for the crown jewels.
High above Buckingham Palace, India 99 is now being asked to watch over the Queen's Guard, who might be vulnerable to attack. But no one is quite sure where they are.
A bit difficult for me to give you directions at this time. Nobody knows where anybody is at the moment. If you can go to Hyde Park and look for the King's Troop from that position, but I'll need a verbal update as to what's happening. Over.
Yeah, all received. I mean, the big giveaway would be a massive coach behind a load of horses as well, wouldn't it?
At Gold Command, nerves are twitching.
You have lost a sense, haven't you? And albeit we can still talk, the comfort of being able to see the world outside of the control centre, it's very uncomfortable when that all goes.
As the technology fails around them, London's police commanders resort to Plan B. They start talking to one another.
Gentlemen, is it 801 who are taking the RHA back?
Yes, it is.
Can you ask them where they are?
801 7DT.
Sometimes when you lose one sense, you enhance another, don't you? And people have to talk a bit more.
Escort 8 7DT.
It's just, you just got to communicate more verbally if you can't do it visually.
I will track them down.
Thanks, Paul. If the boys have picked them up on the camera now, I'll come back and let you know where they are.
Her Majesty, meanwhile, is oblivious to the drama in the control room. She's opened Parliament again. And back at GT, there's relief all round as the camera feeds are restored. Just in time for 99 to head home and refuel.
Right, team, well done. Key and medals.
While the police commanders at GT try to work out what went wrong with their IT, PC Tartaglia is reviewing the video of the suspected supermarket robbers who gave him the slip earlier.
Just a curiosity thing now. I don't like people sneaking past me.
Although the two men did not get away, Tartaglia is concerned that he and PC Airs lost them momentarily.
Because they're tucked in down there, just gives them time to bunk back along the back of the building. There's the heat source there. That's definitely them, that's a really intense source, so that's them hiding.
A suspect who escapes the camera lens is an air observer's worst nightmare.
It was the fact that they'd warmed the bush up and then moved when we couldn't see them that threw us off. It's just a lesson learned, really, to just keep the camera a little bit wider.
By now, they're up here, a bit further up. Just there.
You're always learning, so it was good to have something that you could review, learn from, and next time, hopefully, they won't catch us out the same way twice.
They don't often get away like that, it's annoying, but at the end of the day, he got nicked, so that's all that matters.
Keeping an eye on the criminal is what this unit is all about. and those who are in charge of the Sky Cops run regular checks on their air observers. Today, it's the turn of PC Bev Bonner to face the music, known as a line check. It's a straight pass or fail. Fail, and you're out of the unit.
I'm doing a little bit of cramming before my test. There are some things that we don't use every day, so I need to just refresh my memory.
The line checking process is about us as managers checking an observer's competence. That line assessment involves effectively just watching them do the job, just making sure that what they do represents the air support unit in the way that we would want them to do.
Test, I hate tests. I can do the job, but as soon as I know that someone's sat there and they're testing me, I find it really difficult. It makes me really nervous.
All your electrics are on.
There are numerous observers on the unit now who, the minute I announce that I'm going to do a line check, their whole demeanour changes. You can feel them getting under pressure.
16:29 now. A couple of tasks for you when you're ready then. Team, give us a couple of minutes.
There's an element of pressure, yeah. So I think, oh no, I don't know my stuff.
On this flight, knowing your stuff means pretending instead of real thief catching.
There's the junction. I don't know if you want to just follow a vehicle coming out of that. Sure. There's one, look, just at the bottom of the park.
That's it. That's good practice. Okay, that's good. It's just a little refresher, that's all.
They'll do vehicle pursuits, garden searches, and a range of other incidents.
Sorry?
They're just putting the dog in now.
Where's the gate? Oh, here, is it?
Yeah.
PC Bonner has been a Sky Cop for 3 years, and it's not what she originally expected.
What I expected from the job was totally different to what I actually found the job to be. I suppose I thought it would be quite easy. You know, you'd come into work, fly around in a helicopter, and it wouldn't be that difficult.
Just to the south of Victoria Park.
But the navigating, making sure that all the equipment works, talking to the ground units, taking control, it is hard.
If you're going to change the settings, Bev, on the camera, what would you change them to?
Oh, I'd slow them down.
Do you want to try and do that?
Yeah. And I've set it.
Brilliant.
It seems to get easier. I think, like with every job, as soon as you've done it for a few months or a few years, you think, yeah, this is a lot easier. And I think you just get to grips with everything, and then things start falling into place. But in the beginning, for me, nothing seemed to fall into place.
I'm happy with that, guys. I think what we'll do is we'll route back to Limpets now, end that exercise, and we'll return to base.
Well done, guys. That's it done for another flicking
6 months.
Yeah, I think it went really well, and me and Simon worked really well as a team. So we answered all the questions we had to answer and done the job. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the Sergeant will tell us that we've passed our line check.
Bev did very well in a line check. I personally have seen a massive development and a massive improvement, and what I saw when I line checked was incredibly good and very, very impressive.
But for London Sky Cops, there's little time for self-satisfaction. Criminals are on the run again.
Right, yeah, I've got a job. KD sector, give the details in the air.
Altimeters.
0 Dembo.
Radio nave.
Set.
Doors, harnesses.
And PC Bonner must now do it for real.
Happy to go, guys?
I know we're going to need you soon. I think he's uncomfortable.
An escaped prisoner is in a stolen BMW in North London, minutes away from 99's base.
99 is held in a car park. Alpha 123 Junction, Creighton Garden.
Yeah, that's all received. 2 miles, yes, and 30 seconds.
He's laying low in a car park.
Yeah, the vehicle is held with its lights on.
That is Craven Gardens, just up screen from you now.
This one?
Yeah.
So it could be this car park, look.
Right, so how are we going to find this little Herbert then?
PC Bonner thinks she knows where he is.
There, that's a BM.
Could be anywhere.
Window open.
99, it's a meet with a dark coloured Ford Focus.
Zoom in for us, Ben. That's a Focus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can confirm we've got that on camera now.
It looks like there's some kind of deal going on with another car, but the driver of the BMW has decided something's wrong.
Stand by, seatbelts going on in the BM.
The lights are on and they're moving.
Yeah, it's an off-on. It looks like it's actually going to be a right for the Beamer.
This is not a surprise to the police. The driver has escaped from jail and has a string of convictions for burglary, car crime and drugs.
Southbound towards Ilford.
990 intention will be to follow this vehicle until he parks up and we will deal with him on foot.
Yeah, that's received.
It's the Sky Cop's job to keep tabs.
No, right, looks like he's going to be parking up.
Down an alleyway.
They don't want this to turn into a chase that risks lives.
Yeah, he's there again, visual.
Well, we've got to try and stay on him now, wherever he goes to.
The idea is to block the BMW with patrol cars, but they've got to be careful.
Is that police?
If that's you coming in, it's them on the right-hand side. That's it.
It's reversing now.
Other units, it looks like
there
it's
goes.
going in now. Stand by, it's going to be an off-off. Vehicle's going to fail to stop.
It's not going according to plan.
Yeah, the vehicle is off, back towards Headley Drive.
Now the Sky Cops must take control.
Commentary and control with you, 99.
Yeah, that's received.
And PC Bonner must show that her line check pass was no fluke.
My job when I'm on the camera is I want to keep that vehicle on the screen and I want to make sure that I get them.
Right, just confirm this vehicle's about to go across the zebra crossing now.
You become so engrossed in what you're doing and all you want to do is catch them, and then you've got to work as a team, so the three of you are there helping one another. It's full on, you're giving 110% all the time.
Traffic units equipped with video are also after the BMW, and it's now clear that this is going to be a serious pursuit.
Near side lane, he's blocked by traffic, stand by.
And a dangerous one.
Yeah, he's on the Eastern Avenue now, heading southbound.
In lane 1, he's going left.
The escaped prisoner has made a mistake.
Stand by, Springfield Drive.
A dead end for him.
He's blocked, he's bulked.
Oh, get him, please.
But he's not giving up yet.
He's hit the concrete barriers and got wedged in there. At that point, I've sort of gone down the side of the car. I've smashed the driver's window and then decided to spray the subject with CS spray.
Yeah, it looks like a stop's gone in. Can I have units to assist, please?
It was a tactical option that I had. He was still trying to get away whilst I smashed the window, but as soon as I'd sprayed him, he's gave up.
The CS spray has done the trick.
The subject has been detained.
Excellent, well done. We'll be leaving today. 99 out.
It's great, it's a great buzz. It's brilliant. When you catch someone, or when the officers on the ground catch someone, and you've been part of it and you've helped them, you come back and you just think, oh, great, what a great job.
The escaped prisoner who stole the BMW was sent back to prison for a further 3 years. The two men who were accused of robbing a supermarket and who gave the Sky Cops the slip were released without charge. And the 5 youths chased along railway tracks after being seen spraying graffiti were all found guilty.